Hi, my name is Anneli Portman, and in this lesson we will look at the details of Finnish political parties. First of all, the Centre Party. It is the dominant party in the countryside. It favors private enterprise, but also favors a very active role of the state in economic, regional and social policy. It occupies 49% of the seats in the parliament, and it has for the decades, precisely because it is a centre party, been involved in government. Secondly, the Conservative Party, or as their official name says, National Coalition Party. They are more to the right than the Centre Party, and they traditionally are the party of the business elite and the educated upper class, dominant in the capital area. They are very market-oriented, and they also favor a strong EU and close relationships with NATO. They have 37 seats in the current parliament. Social Democratic Party. It is the central party of many governments for decades. It is a party of industrial workers and urban wage earners, and it has a strong emphasis on welfare state and full employment. They currently occupy 34 seats in the parliament. The Social Democratic Party are not as left as the Left Alliance, and Left Alliance is uniting in its ideological heritage both the left wing of Social Democratic Party and the ideology of the communist parties. It is very similar in its emphasis on welfare state, and it mainly gathers in its folds people from working class and also intellectual radicalists. This means that, for instance, in the current situation, Left Alliance really has a voice, a strong voice, in the opposition. The Greens, ecologically, their eyes are on the well-being of the surroundings and the nature and the conservation of nature, and they are the party of the young, urban, well-educated people. Ideologically, in most moral questions, they are liberal, and they strongly advocate tolerance of immigrants and sexual minorities. Their attitudes towards NATO are, as can be expected, quite negative. They have 15 seats in the parliament, and the Left Alliance has 12 seats, so they are fairly similar in size in terms of parliament. The Finns. They are the Finnish Populist Party. Their name used to be True Finns, but they have changed their name and now are called the Finns. They've won 2 landslide victories, one after another, in 2011 and 2015. They want a strong government that finances the welfare state. They are against NATO, are against immigration, and are, some of them at least, also against bilingualism. Like we saw in the cleavage part, the Finns have within them 2 ideologically quite different dimensions. One, the more right-wing side, has also xenophobic tendencies, whereas the other one emphasizes more the needs of the ordinary people. They currently have 38 seats in the government. The 2 smaller parties, the Swedish Party and the Christian Democrats, are quite different, but have an important role in the Finnish party constellation. The Swedish Party is the dominant party of the Swedish-speaking population. They are moderate in their line, both in economy and in foreign policy. They lean towards right, and in immigration and multiculturalism and moral issues are more radical. Naturally, the Swedish party's contribution to Finland has been that they have strongly kept alive the very important Swedish-speaking heritage in Finland, making it possible to have a viable Nordic cooperation that is not just governed linguistically by the lingua franca of today, English, but that we can actually communicate with our Nordic neighbors in Swedish. They have 10 seats in the government, or 9 actually for the Swedish party, and the 1 seat from Åland Islands. The representative from Åland Islands traditionally sits with the Swedish party. Christian Democrats are a centrist party, and they mostly distinguish themselves from other parties in moral questions, such as the same-sex marriage and abortion. They are also very vocal in their support for poor people, for instance, calling into question the cuts that would impact more strongly the weakest, the old, or the children. They currently occupy 5 seats in the parliament. How do you form a party in Finland? What do you need to do if you want to have a party? Here is the recipe. The ingredients in this recipe are, first of all, you need a registered association, the main objective of which is to influence state matters. So you can't just have an association of any kind, but the association has to have as its focus the entire state. And also, the association has to make very sure it observes the democratic principles in its decision making. Do you remember what they were? Everybody has one vote, and everybody needs to be able to vote, and do so in such a way that the vote is genuine and not hindered by others. You also need, apart from the registered association, a party program that delineates the goals and principles of the association. And then you need 5,000 signatures of citizens who are entitled to vote in parliamentary elections. Who is entitled to vote in parliamentary elections? Those who are 18 and citizens of Finland, or 18 and more, and are citizens of Finland. So with these 3 ingredients, you can form a party, and it has to be entered in the party registry by the Ministry of Justice. And then you're ready for the next elections. However, if a party fails to gain a parliamentary seat in 2 consecutive elections, it is deleted from the party registry, and you have to start over in collecting signatures and making sure that you're eligible to the party registry. What about the state's relationship to the parties? Parties are funded by the state, which of course means that they are ultimately funded by all the taxpayers, all of us. Parties have been publicly funded since 1968. They receive a party subsidy, which is granted by the government, and this is in accordance with the seats they have in the parliament. That means that the larger parties get more money than the smaller parties. The parties also receive money for other purposes, for instance, for distributing information, election campaigns, their affiliated organizations, etc. Parties that don't have a parliament seat don't get funding. This actually creates a barrier by which it is easy for the existing parties to protect their turf and make it very difficult for new parties to enter the game. And this is called the cartel party thesis. And if you're interested in it, there you can see the link where there's more about this phenomena where the parties are as if barricaded behind a strong wall made by the state. How much money did the parties spend in the last election in 2015? How much money does it cost to get 1 seat? For the Centre Party, the figure was a modest 18,000 euros, whereas for Christian Democrats, it was very expensive. One representative cost 100,000 euros. The Finns were the lowest, and their representatives cost about 18,421 euros each. What does that mean? It means that the parties have an electoral budget in millions of euros. And when you divide that budget with the seats they actually got, you can see how much money it takes. In addition to the cartel principle, you can see that it is very difficult for a party that doesn't have state subsidy to actually enter the game and have a representative of their own. So, to keep in mind from lesson 3 is that Finland has a fragmented party system. We have 8 parties in the parliament, 3 in the government. There are various systems of cleavages, and membership of the parties has gone down, but their importance has increased as the importance of parliament increases. The Finns have won a landslide victory twice, 2011 and 2015, altering quite dramatically the constellation and therefore also the government of what goes on in the political life of Finland. And public funding leads to a cartel party system. So, now it's your time to think. How many parties are there in your country? And how do they differ from one another? Are the cleavages similar to those in Finland? Recommended reading for this lesson is the following book, Parties, Governments and Voters in Finland. So, now you know a little bit more of what makes Finland tick.